It's a great day. My name is Che Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the number one business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we are on a mission. And our mission really is to empower, our mission is to inspire, and our mission is to provide you, that's right, you, the hard working entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And on this episode, we have the one and only Charlene Rhinehart. She's in the building, and she'll be talking about pitch your way to success. We'll see how that works. What's going on, Charlene? How are you doing?
Hi, Shay. How are you? I'm doing well.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show. And thank you to viewers for watching, by the way, because without you, we don't have a show. So thanks for allowing us to stream into your home, especially during these very challenging times that we're living in right now. So thank you so much. As we get started, on everybody's mind has to be, because they're going to read your bio. They'll see how famous you are. We'll get into that later. I know people all over the world know you, so that's cool. But they're probably curious. Pitch your way to success. Shay, ask her up front, what in the LL Cool J does that even mean? So can you take a moment and frame what that means for the audience, please?
Let me break it down for you. Have you ever been in a situation where you have been laid off? Or have you ever been in a situation where you needed more funding for your business, or your business would just go up in smoke, right? Well, that is where pitch your way to success comes in at. If you ever want to make sure you have endless opportunities in your life, you have to be able to pitch it. That's something I had to do when I was going to college, and it's something I still have to do in my business. So pitching your way to success is about always being ready for that next opportunity when it arrives.
I love it. I love the energy. What do you say to the person that's listening right now? Like, sounds good, but hey, does she know I have AI? Shay, literally, okay. You want me to pitch my business? I can go to AI and type in pitch my business, and I should be done. I don't know if that's true or not. Can you take a moment and just give us your view of the world on AI and how that can or cannot be used when you're trying to pitch yourself? Is it even a viable source? And ladies and gentlemen, this is an unfair question because I know y'all are different places, different spaces, there's different industries, but I'm curious on Charlene's perspective on AI and pitching your way to success.
I love AI, and I think it is a great compliment to everything you are doing. But sometimes, if you are not the expert in the area, how do you know if AI is telling you the right thing? How do you know if AI is giving you the best approach? That's where having some expertise come in, because you need to know some prompt engineering. You need to know the right questions to ask in order to get a certain type of result. So if you're not putting in the right inputs, you won't get the right and the best output for you. So you need to know you first, and then you also need to know what your audience wants in order to put that information into AI. I work with people who use AI all the time, and guess what? I will read what they write, and it's horrible sometimes. Why? Because they are not feeding AI the right inputs. So if you're working with AI, you need to know exactly what you are doing to make it work for you.
I love it. And the person is out there saying, Shay, I'm an introvert. Again, ladies and gentlemen, she said I can ask any question I want. So there's two types of folks I'll be watching. One person's like, I got it. I can just do this, and I can just go out there and I'll just work with you and make sure I understand. Then there's the other person that's like, Shay, I'm an introvert. What does she say to the person that's an introvert to still have to pitch their way to success? And we'll frame it in two areas. Ladies and gentlemen, she can handle the question. Two areas. One area is pitch their way to success in their career. Is this different for an introvert versus pitching their way to success as an entrepreneur? Or are they both the same?
That's a great question. And Shay, I must admit that I am an introvert. So I specialize in working with people who are introverts because my methods have worked for me and other people like me. So when it comes to pitching as an introvert, here's one thing I like to tell people: that you can pitch without even saying a word. And that's how I started my pitch. My pitches were all written at first. When I wanted to apply for scholarships so that I can get access to funding for school, guess what? It started with a written pitch, right? When I wanted to get into the world of pitching my brand so that people could know who I was, It started with me pitching through freelance writing. So your foundational pitch can start with your writing. Even when you are communicating with potential employers, what's the first thing they will look at? They probably won't be able to speak to you. They're not going to speak to everybody that comes their way with an application. The first pitch is a resume or it's your job application. It starts with the written, and then your written pitch leads to the verbal. So if you can master the written pitch, you can get the job interview. You can get in front of that person that you want money from, or who you want to partner with, or whatever opportunity you're seeking. It all starts with written.
I like to start with the written. And ladies and gentlemen, I promise I'm going to ask her backstory in a minute. She's going to tell you her origin story, how she got started, and what was that defining moment that led her to where she is now. Hint, hint. I know she's going to do that. But before she does that, some of you might be wondering, Shay, she talked about a pitch in writing. Does she help individuals now be able to pitch their way to success using digital media? Like right now, we're on camera. So the person is watching is curious, does your company focus on that? And what are 1, 2, or 3 ideas that you may have? Don't worry, we're gonna get her backstory. I know y'all already on her website now. I get it, but talk to that person who's watching now.
Yes, so if you are trying to pitch yourself on digital media, guess what? You need a digital media presence. And if you don't want to start off by speaking, start off by sharing your thoughts. There are so many ways now with social media where you can share your thoughts. I didn't have this available to me when I was initially pitching. It wasn't like it is now, right? And so you can start there. But this is what I do to help people. I own various newsletters, and one newsletter that I am actively working on right now is Chicago Southsider. We have over 30,000 subscribers in the Chicagoland area, and we tap into opportunities that can benefit our subscribers. So one way that people who want to showcase their business or their service or their product or whatever they have, their job, if you want to showcase it, you can do it in our newsletter. You are immediately getting access to a hyper local audience. And so sometimes you may feel like you are in a saturated market when you're on social media and you're trying to find your voice and trying to find your way through all the noise. Well, by advertising in a newsletter, you get direct access to an audience who can learn your story, get access to your links. It's a captive audience who is opening their email and they are excited to learn more about you because they signed up for this newsletter and know what type of things we offer.
I love it, by the way. Spot on, spot on. Now the moment y'all been waiting for. You're like, Shay, I hear this person. She's making sense and sense. Come on, somebody. Making sense and sense. But Shay, I'm just curious. What's her backstory? What was the defining moment that led her to doing what she's doing now as an introvert? I'm an introvert too, by the way. No, really, I really am. Trust me. But anyway, tell them your backstory. You know the question. Who are you? What's the backstory so they understand there's something behind the person that's talking now?
Yes, Shay. Us introverts definitely have a story when it comes to the reason why we do what we do. For me, I didn't want to graduate college with student loans. I heard the horror stories and I just didn't want to go down that path. So I vowed to myself that I would find a way to pay for my private education without leaving school with a bunch of student loans. And so that meant I had to do something different because I wasn't the person who was musically talented. I didn't have that gift, or I didn't know how to play any sports. I would try and try, and nobody would let me on any type of team, right? And you think about all the other areas in which people get scholarships, I didn't qualify for them, right? I was academically talented, but I wasn't the best of the best. I'm sure there were more people who had what I had or even better grades. And then I realized, what is my unique positioning? What do I do best? And at that time, I love to serve. I would always do service at various organizations and support other people. And that is what helped me pay for college, believe it or not. I would share all the service activities I was involved in, the leadership opportunities, and I would just connect all the dots. And show how it related to my future. And that's how I was able to pay for my education. Through my essays and my applications, I was able to get over $100,000 in internships, fellowships, and scholarships to pay for my college education. So if somebody says, oh, I don't meet the traditional requirements to get a scholarship, guess what? You may fit into a category of your own. And so you want to use that to your advantage so that you can be able to make an impact, make a difference, but also maximize your experience. And for me, maximizing my experience was being able to graduate with no student loan debt so that I could do the things that I was gifted at doing while I was in school.
While you were in school, what amazing! Congratulations, by the way. No debt, yay! I know a lot of folks saying, "Whoa, where was she?" I wish I was pitching what I was, what I had to pitch. Let's take a moment, if we can. And there are a number of folks on here who are dualpreneurs. They work a full-time job and they're full-time entrepreneurs. Some of them are moms, some of them are dads. Some of them have responsibilities like myself. They're caregivers as well. Others have kids. Mache, where are you going with this? They got a list of things they've got to do. Where I'm going with this is and I hope it's a cool question, what are 3 things that you would share to someone that says, okay, I am an entrepreneur. I'm a dualpreneur, but I'm busy. What are 3 ideas you might share if they want to pitch and maybe get on to a television show, or maybe get on to a podcast, maybe get on into someone's newsletter, and they're like, man, I have her here, Shay. What are 3 principles or 3 things that she looks for when she's looking to pitch, so I can include that? Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, I can ask any question I want, so I don't have a list I have to, so you might want to listen in on this one.
That's such a great question. So when we're talking about pitching and how to get started if you're busy, I would say number 1 is identify your USP. Now in marketing, that used to be unique selling proposition, but I always like to tell people it's your unique sharing proposition, just in case you're uncomfortable with the word selling. So basically that comes down to, what do you want to share with the world? And I'm not talking about where you received your degree from, what degree you have, what job you work at. Those are the foundational items. What makes you you? What can you say that nobody else can say? Everybody else can probably say they live in a certain city, right? Think about the total addressable market of the city that you're in. How many people can actually say that they live in that city? That's not unique. But what is it about you? It's your unique story. So once you can identify your unique story, which is compiled of possibly all the things that are keeping you busy from day to day, that becomes the foundation of who you are, your differentiator, your unique sharing proposition that you can share with the world. So jot down those things, because it can be a lot to think about, right? Jot it all down, what you do, and then start to connect the dots so that you can define who you are, your why, and your story. Number 2, once you've got all of that, identify your goals. What's the vision? You need to know where you are going on this journey. What type of podcast do you want to be a part of? What do you want to speak about? What is your mission that you want to share with the world? Start thinking about those consistent themes in your life. Maybe you've done it since you were a child. What are those things that never left your mind, right? Think about those things and now align it with the opportunities that would be best for you. Think about that perfect match. It's like a marriage. If you know that you do this and there are opportunities in the marketplace that also align with that, that's a match, and that's an opportunity for you to pitch. And 3, get support, right? When you're busy, you can't do all the things. And that's one thing I had to learn. I needed a dream team to bring the dream to life. So who do you need on your dream team so that you can make that happen? If you're not comfortable with writing, well, who do you need on your team to edit you or make sure you are a better writer and communicating who you are to the best of your ability? Who do you need to improve your sales skills, right? Who are the coaches that you need on your team? Identify those people, because that's your shortcut to success. You don't have to do it alone.
Success is a team sport. You can only get so far by yourself. You summed it up so well. You know, this is probably a perfect segue because we have a segment here called Today is My January 1st. Now, for those folks who tune in every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you already know what we're about to do. You can go ahead and say those magical words. Today is my January 1st. Happy New Year to you, by the way. And for all the new folks who are joining for the very first time, thanks for allowing us to stream on your mobile device. Maybe listen to the podcast right now. Maybe we're on your big screen TV, wherever you're watching and participating. Thank you so much. Today is my January 1st is our personal mantra at the Happy Entrepreneur Show. It represents a fresh start. It represents a do-over. It means our past, no matter how dark and gloomy that past is, or how bright and sunny that past is, the past no longer equals the future. And so my question for Charlene on the other side is really twofold, because we're going to find out if she's ever had some challenge. Her life's going to be perfect so far. Number one, when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what do you hear? And number two, where was the time there was a setback in your life, or there was a challenge, if you had any, and how did you bounce back from it?
Shay, I love these questions. Like, you are a pro at what you do. So number one, if this was my January 1st, or what does that mean for it to be your January 1st? I would say that means that, like you said, it's a fresh start, right? The plate is clean, and so you get to determine how your meal looks. What type of veggies and fruits do you want on your plate to get you to where you want to go? And so that means for me, really identifying where I want to be in this season. That's what my January 1st looks like for me. And two, thinking about the challenges. Yes, I've had so many challenges, and I wouldn't have been able to pitch without my challenges. My challenges started with pitches, right? Because when you pitch, you have to realize that you should never let the word no stop your flow. Never let the word no stop your flow. And when I initially started pitching, I was in high school trying to get access to scholarship dollars so that I can go to college, and it wasn't working in my favor. I was applying consistently, and I had to realize what was not working and what the winners were doing that was possibly working. So I had to get my feet wet. I had to get a lot of no's and really figure out how I could make my application stand out and what I needed to do to be a better candidate. And it also happened to me when I dived into entrepreneurship. Let me tell you, this is my 10-year anniversary. This year, 10-year anniversary of when I left my job in financial services. I was working full-time in corporate America in financial services, and I won the title of Miss Corporate America, and I did the unexpected. I decided to quit my job. I had no entrepreneurial game plan. And so I had to start from scratch. And working in corporate is completely different from being an entrepreneur, because when you're starting off, you have to wear a ton of hats, and you may not be comfortable in all those roles you have to play. And you also don't have a blueprint when it comes to entrepreneurial success. So that was my biggest challenge. And that's why I had to learn how to pitch once again. When I started my freelance writing journey, I was pitching to various publications, wasn't getting any responses back, or was getting rejections, or I had some of everything happen in my early journey of freelance writing so that people could know what I did. And eventually I kept doing it. In 2021, I ended up writing 400 articles, and then I had all of these publications and big companies wanting me to work for them because my work was now reaching millions of views and people were seeing this online. And so companies wanted me to do this for them and their team, right? And so I would say my biggest challenge was starting from scratch. In all of the situations I was in, starting from scratch without a blueprint, trying to find out what works, and also finding those people who knew what they were doing on their journey. When I was starting into freelance writing, I didn't know people in that world. It was a completely different space. And so in addition to pitching, I had to find people in that space who were also doing what I wanted to do, follow them on social media, watch what they were doing. If there's anybody who's done what you want to do, you better start following them on social media. Start responding to emails or Facebook posts. Just find out what they are doing, because that could be the light bulb for you. That can be the missing piece to your success equation. So that's how I've been able to overcome challenges, by falling flat on my face. Unfortunately, I had to do that, but also finding out what works and finding those people who can support me on my journey.
Well said. Thanks for being so transparent. Thanks for being so authentic. You know, one of my favorite questions I like to ask when we have a few minutes, and we have a few minutes now, is what's one of the best pieces of advice you've ever been given? Now, I'll frame it for the audience so they know you read more books than you can remember these days. I'll let the audience know that when I actually come off the mountain with the 10 Commandments, okay? I'll let the audience know as well that you've watched more videos. I don't know about 10,000 hours anymore. I'm sure I've got 10,000 hours on this thumb, like in a week, by the way. But if you had to step back and say, you know what, Shay, of all the pieces of advice I've been given, here's one of the best pieces of advice I've been given. What is it, and why is it so near and dear important to you?
I immediately think about my great aunt. She passed away last year and she was 83 years old. And she was like a PR maven in Chicago, well respected, and mentored so many journalists in Chicago. And she had 5 kids while she was doing everything that she did. Had 5 kids, was born in the 1940s during the time when women didn't have access to as much, but she still did it. She created opportunities for herself. And one piece of advice she gave me when I asked her, how did you do it? And she said, I never thought I couldn't do it. Some people don't do these things because they have kids. But the reason I did it was because I had kids. So look at those reasons why you are not doing what you are supposed to be doing on earth. That should be your motivation. Let that hype you up. Let that be your motivation to keep going, keep doing it, and above everything, keep God first and let Him order your steps, right? Because there are so many things going on. There are so many challenges that everybody has. But if you can turn your pain into purpose, the purpose that God has for you, you'll look at your situation completely different. And your path, your life will be transformed.
Perfect. And purpose means different things to different people. When you say the word purpose, what does purpose mean to you, and what does it feel like?
For me, purpose is going beyond me. Sometimes we are looking so inward that we forget that the real reason that we're put on earth is because we have a gift that needs to be unlocked so that someone else can be blessed by it. So unlocking my purpose is trying to identify and understand the reason that God has put me here on this earth, and realizing that it is better than me, it's bigger than me, it's bigger than my passions. It is the reason I was put on this earth, and the reason that God still has me on this earth today. That is my purpose.
Well said, by the way. We're not out saving the world, help people pitch their way to success. What do you do for fun these days?
Well, I am lucky to be in Chicago because we have such an amazing theater scene. We have so many things to do. So I love going to plays with my family. I just saw a Raisin in the Sun, which is a play from Lorraine Hansberry that she did over 50 years ago. And I just love being able to spend those times with my loved ones, because like I said, you never know how much time you have on this earth. So you want to make the most of it with the ones you love. So that's what puts a smile on my face, being with my family, doing the things we love. And I tell people, my priority is my family, right? That's number one on my list. And I want to make sure that's clear in everything I do, because I can always get more work, but I cannot always get those moments with my family. And so that is my foundation for everything I do. And that keeps me going in everything I do. And it gives me the energy to be a happy entrepreneur.
I like that. That was well said. That was good. That was good. I'll give you that one. That was good. That was good. What type of, as we come down the home stretch, two-part question. Number one, what type of clients are you looking to work with these days, if any? I'm not sure if your firm's taking on any clients. And number two, how can folks connect with you? Where should they go? Where should they go on social media so they can stay in this conversation with you over and beyond the time that you and I have right now?
Yes. So I work with professionals and entrepreneurs who are looking to pitch. So when I'm working with professionals, it could be professionals in corporate America who are looking to learn how to pitch so that they can be ready for their next opportunity. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So I am looking for that accomplished individual who is ready to level up and see what else or what other opportunities are out there for them to use their gifts and change the world. Entrepreneurs, you have this big business idea, but you don't have the audience, or you want to expand your audience so you can get it out to the world. We have newsletters and various platforms where we can help you promote your products and services. Now, if you are trying to pitch so that you can raise capital, we will help you do that as well.
Well, and where should they go? Did you give them the website?
I did not. Forgive me for not doing that. So you can.
I mean, I'm just curious. If you're pitching, where do you want to pitch me to?
Exactly. So you can email us at hello@chicagosouthsider.com if you want to get in our Chicago Southsider newsletter. You can be from anywhere in the world. And we also have hello@ceounlimitedfirm.com, CEOUNLIMIT. EDFIRM.com if you want to have pitching for your business so that you can raise capital. And you can also follow me on social media. I am at Charlene Rhinehart on Instagram and Charlene Rhinehart on Facebook.
Well said. I love it. Well, let me say two things. Number one, thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. I appreciate it. Can't wait to connect and have you back again soon.
Thanks for having me, Shay. I appreciate it.
And thank you to viewers. Thank you for tuning in, by the way. We know you have a lot of decisions. You have a lot of choices, but you choose to be with us. So thank you so much. It means a lot to us and that you're here, because without you, well, we don't have a show. So we really appreciate you. And I'll never get tired of reminding you, every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, no matter what's going on in your life, whether you've been, hit with the punch that you never saw coming, or you're all the way on the other side, where right now, as you're watching right now, you're going to another level. Here's what I believe. I believe today is your January 1st. And because of just that one reason alone, I believe your best is still yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. With that being said, my name hasn't changed. Still Che Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And we'll make some good things how we connect again next time. Peace. We out here. So long, Charlene. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.